Another great day for some news. Thank you for joining us here at 15 East. I'm Terrence Miles. To get things rolling, WVU Theater BFA program is diligently working on their spring production. First up, their mystifying and comedic rendition of Shakespeare's play, Twelfth Night. Our theater correspondent, Maya Bryant, has more on the story.
Thank you, Terrace. Twelfth Night, or What You Will, is a comedy written by William Shakespeare, and this timeless classic is making its way to the WPU stage this month, with an 80s twist. I was able to speak with cast members Mary Lynn Bain and Alexandra Finazzo, and director Dr. Wade Newhouse about their expectations for this upcoming production, and they seem quite excited about the direction that this production is headed.
So you not only have to focus on what you're saying, how you're saying it, it's where you're saying it, and just Shakespeare alone is hard for me, but figure out how you're gonna involve the whole 360 degrees of audience is a whole nother level of hard.
I agree. I think our performance is going to be something that's really unique and special that especially a college audience like Peace can relate to a lot better, because we're setting it in the 80s, sort of like a Pretty in Pink, Say Anything movie type situation.
Twelfth Night runs February 25th through the 28th. Students can get their tickets on eventbrite.com. Back to you, Terrace.
Peaceful, devoted, spiritual, and faithful. Those are just a few words to describe the Islamic faith, similar to how many Christians in our society describe themselves. Amidst the attacks in Paris, Lebanon, and Kenya from radical Islamic groups, there have been proposed policies in the debates to ban refugees and Muslims. The distrust from Muslims are at an all-time high since 9/11. Fear of our country's safety is the main concern, respectively. But with 1 billion Muslims around the planet, is the temporary ban and the absolute disrespect to an entire culture really what we need in our country? Quentin Howard has our story.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on. We have no choice. We have no choice.
Right now is a defining point in our nation's history. Our values and our vision for America is being put to the ultimate test.
I don't even like turning the news on anymore, because all I hear are awful things about what my people are doing, but every single Muslim person I know has never tried to hurt a person or even thought about it.
Since 9/11, there's been distrust against people of the Islamic faith. Now in 2016, in large part because of the attacks of ISIS, the fear and misunderstanding of Muslims is at an all-time high. America, who do we want to be? We identify as the greatest country on earth, but some of us believe that a temporary ban on Muslims is a good idea. Is that who we are? Are we going to ban people from entering the country based off religious beliefs? What happened to our idea of religious freedom? Are we going to ban people based off the actions of extremists? Are we really going to submit to that radicalism? What message does that send to our Muslim brothers and sisters all over the world? ISIS wants division in a nation that was founded off the idea of unity. Are we going to sacrifice our values for the false sense of security?
And one thing I do think everyone needs to work on is becoming more educated, not just about your own religion, but about everyone's, because I think that we'd be able to work a lot better that way. Religion, it's just a text. A person is what makes it something else. People are violent, not a religion. And I think that's something that everyone needs to understand. Because you can have the most peaceful religion in the world, and a person can turn it into whatever they please.
Is this truly America the beautiful? Or is this America where the actions of few stereotype all?
2016 presidential election is heating up, as the first official ballots were casted in Iowa on February 1st. However, despite all the media attention that this election has been getting, there are still a large number of people in this population that do not vote, specifically young people. Now, 62% of people in this population between the ages of 18 and 24 do not vote in presidential elections. Why do young people not vote? We went straight to the source to find out.
Why do young people not vote?
That's the question we all want to know. But as you can tell, there really isn't a clear-cut answer, especially on a college campus. Since 1964, voting amongst 18 to 24-year-olds has declined every election year, with the exception of President Obama in 2008, when the voter turnout reached 49%, the highest it's been since Clinton's 1992 campaign run. Most students at Peace agree that young people don't vote because some laws don't affect them directly, or they just simply don't care.
We don't feel that a lot of bills apply to us. I used to work for the North Carolina Registration Project, and it was focused on getting people registered to vote. And a lot of, especially young black men, they weren't even interested in registering because they didn't feel like our representatives represented them well.
Young people have historically wanted someone who they can appeal and relate to. Historically, young people have appealed more to Democratic candidates like John F. Kennedy, Bill Clinton, and Barack Obama, with the exception of Ronald Reagan, who was on the Republican ticket in the 80s. In this year's election poll, according to Time.com, young people appeal more to Senator Bernie Sanders by a considerable margin. Dr. Elizabeth Cusco, a political science professor at William Peace University, backs that article's story.
About student loans, and he's talking about issues that really are pertinent to young voters. And I mean, he has that cool hashtag, right? Like Feel the Burn. And I think his persona and his Kennedy image are really compelling with younger voters.
It'll be interesting to see how young people contribute to this year's election. Will we see an increase in voter turnout, or will the steady decrease in this civil liberty continue to fall? We can only wait and see. It's the most wonderful time of the year. I'm not talking about Christmas, but it's pretty close to it. Sunday's showdown between the Carolina Panthers and the Denver Broncos is sure to be a great one. Will Cam Newton lead the Panthers to their first Super Bowl win, or will Peyton Manning go out on top? We caught up with students around campus to get their expectations about the big game. Ann Taylor Callan with the story.
Thanks, Terrace. The atmosphere around WPU has been absolutely electric. After all, we're in North Carolina, so everyone's rooting for the Panthers, right? This week, I got the chance to catch up with some of WPU's biggest Panther fans and even a season ticket holder.
Tanner Brown and Easton Payton, two first-year students at WPU, live by one motto: keep pounding, and are beyond excited that their team has made it all the way to the Super Bowl, despite all of the doubt they've had all season long.
For the season, did you see the Panthers going this far at all?
I don't really think anybody did. We had some really good receivers, but then one got hurt, our best one, Kelvin Benjamin. Then after that, nobody even predicted us to probably win the division. But hey, now we're in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So shout out to all the haters.
I would say keep doubting us. Keep pounding. That's the motto of the Panthers. That's what you got to do. Keep pounding.
How do you plan on spending your Super Bowl Sunday?
Well, first of all, I'm going to wake up around 9 o'clock and go to Bojangles, get my 2 Bo Berries, one of those cinnamon crunch things too from Bojangles also, and I'll get a large sweet tea to go with that. And then from there, I'm not really sure what I'll do. I'll wait till around 6 o'clock probably. Very anxious, very excited, but it's going to be quite the day. I'll be watching SportsCenter all day.
Those guys were an absolute blast to work with, especially that kid Easton. I hope he enjoys his Sunday morning Bojangles. Although we didn't get a chance to catch up with any Broncos fans on campus, we do know that our very own Quentin Howard is quite a Broncos fan himself. He better stay away from all those Panthers fans on Sunday. Back to you, Terrace.
Over Christmas break, many of us learned that one of our Peace sisters had passed away. Charisma Barnes, a first-year student from Rocky Mount, North Carolina, was a member of PAC, Pacers, and the Community Together. Was always seen with a smile on her face as she walked through the halls of Peace. Although I did not know Charisma very well, she will always be a Peace sister to me. Gone too soon, but not forgotten. She was only 18 years old. That does it here for us at 15 East News. Thank you for joining us.